All right, so I've washed my hands, 30 seconds, soap and water, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up the pie crust now. Start with the flour. Remember that was 2 cups, 256 grams is how I weighed that out. And then this was our 150 grams of coconut oil. If you're not trying to do dairy free, of course you could use butter. My grandma used to do it with, I love that crust, with canola oil. So actually a liquid oil. And that you just mix really gently. But I'm breaking up the coconut oil a little bit because I'm about to cut it into the flour. I have a pastry cutter, but you don't want that. I mean, for years, I used 2 knives in my hands. So I'm going to cut this in now. So you could use the pastry cutter, and just cut and keep doing it till you're getting to pea size, which I'll do in a second. Or the other option, and it worked well for me for years, was I just would use 2 knives and kind of like crisscross. Hold one and just crisscross the, you just kind of like this through the oil and the flour, which works pretty well. I like the pastry cutter a little bit better because you can just push down and it goes a lot faster. But when I get them to maybe kidney bean size, and I'll kind of run them through here a few times, then I get my hands in there and I make sure that they're all at least pea size or smaller. So like right now you can see some of those are bigger than peas. I'm going to just break those up a little bit with my hands. Plus this feels great. If you don't like to make pie crust, but really want to use the fresh candy roaster in a pie filling, there's plenty of pie crust you can buy frozen already. Okay, so I've got that oil mixed in really well. The other simple thing to do is to use a food processor. Cut it up that way real quick. Of course, then you have to clean the food processor. So I don't always do that. It's probably my preferred method, what I'm showing you right now. I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of water, ice water here, into, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and add a well. Then I'm just going to use one of those knives that I was showing you. Stir it around for a while. Right now, it's starting to stick together, but not quite enough. Still a little bit dry, so I'm going to add probably 2 more just because I'm used to this flour. I'm going to go ahead and drop 2 more in. If you're not sure and not used to the flour, add a tablespoon at a time so that you don't get it too wet. It'll be hard to roll out a stick to everything. The biggest deal is you don't want to overwork pie crust. It'll get tough. That's starting to form pretty well. Actually, I'm going to add a tad more water. It's having a hard time getting it all to stick together. I guess, even though my recipe, I think maybe I need to change it. Call for 8 tablespoons. I think that's 9 right there. Oh, yeah, there we go. Starting to form. Too much more to keep it flaky. Okay, got a ball. I still have some flour down the bottom, but I know that this is plenty for a bottom pie crust, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to stick a lid on this. I used a bowl that I have a lid for and put it in the refrigerator now. 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes since we put the crust in the refrigerator, and I'm going to roll it out now. I'm using wax paper, just wetting it so the bottom one sticks. Hey, Grandma? My mom? Somebody taught me to do that. Maybe somebody has a better coconut oil one that can teach me. I just substituted what I used to do with butter since we can't have dairy. Well, I can have dairy. My spouse cannot have dairy. Hopefully it's not sticking too much. I'm trying to make sure that middle's not too thick. Like a thick pie crust on the bottom. To be thin and flaky. Okay, but I think I'm there. Yeah, it's feeling good. Okay, it is a little sticky. I might have made it a little wet. Let's see if it comes off the bottom. Here's hoping. And to flip into the pie pan, move it around. Most coverage I can. Oh, yay, it is coming off. Okay. Sometimes when I make it too wet, you can see it's doing it a little bit. It'll stick to the wax paper. And I have a little bit of a blank spot here, so I'm going to fill in before I cut the edges off. Bring it down. Brush you in. Oh yeah, the bottom feels nice and not too thick. Okay. Now time to shape the pie edges. To cut it off. I probably should watch how someone does this. Just taught myself over the years. Learned from my mom and my grandma. Like I said though, she switched to like a, oops, I made that too short. Like a canola oil one. But I've switched back. I like using the hard oil. So I love butter. So when I make it, sometimes for myself, other family members, I'll do it with butter. But the coconut oil works if you don't mind coconut oil flavor. If you do, you might, and you're trying to find something dairy-free, maybe the canola oil would be an option for you. And I'm just doing a little shape on the edges. Okay. I don't think I'd be winning any fair contests, but it's going to be light and flaky and taste good. That's kind of the finished product before it's going in the freezer now for 30 minutes. The crust has been in the freezer for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to do the blind bake. There's different techniques to ensure that the bottom stays crisp, especially when you're doing like a custard pie. Study online, but the one I've learned that also helps with my pie crust not shrinking down on this glass pie pan is to do a blind bake. So I'm just putting tinfoil in over the frozen pie crust. You can do pie weights, or if you just have some beans that you can reuse, just fill them in here. I'm kind of pressing them along the edges here so that tinfoil is shaping to that frozen pie crust shape. And then I'm going to put it in the oven at 375 for about 7 minutes. So we've done the 7 minutes blind bake with the weights. And now I'm gonna gently get these weights out of here. And we're gonna put it back in to the oven for about another 7 minutes. But first, I'm gonna do an egg wash on it. Tell you what, it shouldn't be too hot. Okay. These I'll keep, and I will put them back in the glass jar when they cool off a little bit. That's looking pretty good. Let me grab a fork here. Fork and grab a brush. Pastry brush. Here we go. So I'm gonna put some fork jabs in the bottom. And then brush this egg white onto the bottom as well. I won't end up using it all, but just covering the bottom of the pan. So now it has the fork holes and some egg wash on the bottom. Put back in the oven for another 7 minutes. All right, so that was 7 minutes more after we put the egg wash and the egg white wash in the fork holes. So now we're ready to put in the pie filling that we made earlier. You can click this link here to find the instructions for the pie filling, and then you bake at 375 for 55 minutes. Enjoy!